Studies have shown that having a deeper voice is correlated with greater success in everything from relationships to finance. Well, worry no more, home slice, because you're about to freak your friends and loved ones out. That is right, in only one day, you can have a significantly deeper, richer, natural voice if you apply these techniques I'm about to share with you in this video. But you gotta focus. So if you haven't seen the video already, basically I did an experiment where I applied a bunch of different techniques, remedies, and hacks over the course of 1 week to significantly deepen my voice. Now, from doing that experiment, I learned quite a few things, and I've actually had time to refine some of those techniques to yield results fairly quickly. In fact, if you do this technique right now, I believe that you will experience results in just 5 minutes. But then if you take it further, apply it about 5 times throughout the day, then in only 24 hours, you will notice you're just naturally speaking deeper, thicker, richer. Without further ado, let's jump into this technique right now. So it turns out most of us already have a deeper voice than we actually even do realize to begin with. And you'll often hear in a lot of self-help videos that if you want to have a deeper voice, you need to speak lower or speak from the diaphragm. But what does this mean? Like, how do I speak from my diaphragm? Well, what I actually found is the best way to get yourself to naturally do this isn't necessarily to focus immediately on where your voice sounds like it's coming from. You see, in this fast-paced, tense, neurotic lifestyle, we get so tight up here that we are actually shallowly breathing. And thus, when we shallowly breathe, we start talking up here more nasally and just going quick and talking fast and blah, 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 blah. And doing this over and over and over again just trains your body to naturally speak at a higher tone. So we want to do the opposite of tensing up and forcing our breath out. And we want to just allow our breath to flow out. I found the best way to get yourself to do this immediately is to shake it off if you need to, then take a deep, full belly breath in. You can even use your mouth, just, and then, very important, instead of forcing the air out, all you're gonna do is just let the air come back out naturally. Let that natural pressure built up inside from taking that deep breath just come back out naturally. Do not force it, just let it flow back out. Now, you may want to do this sitting down if it's your first time because you don't know how you're going to react by taking such deep breaths. And all you really need are just 3 to 5 deep breaths like this. That right there is the key, the origin of speaking deeply and naturally. In fact, if you take another deep breath deep into the belly, and then as you're letting the air flow back out, speak a phrase that you would normally speak, you'll realize you feel your voice almost feels like it's coming from a deeper origin, and it will immediately sound deeper, richer, thicker. So right there, we have already deepened our voice naturally, but that's not it. There's more. We can get this further and more permanent to train ourselves to have a naturally deeper, richer, thicker voice. Let's move on to the next step. Over the course of that 1 week experiment, I found a range of different vocal techniques that were effective. Now, 2 of those were descending vowels and tribal chanting. Now, I ended up adding my own touch to those, which I will share with you in a second. But first of all, descending vowels is essentially just saying A, E, I, O, U, but in a descending tone. So A, E, I, O, U, to essentially work on that range. And the idea is you're going to be deepening that range. Now, with the tribal chanting, from my experience, it's just essentially saying a tone and bringing the tone as low as possible and just holding that tone. And the idea behind that is it's just going to help strengthen that low tone over time, just like a muscle. But what I discovered to pair with either of these techniques to amplify their effectiveness is physical feedback. What do I mean by physical feedback? Well, physical feedback, essentially just giving yourself something on the outside to mimic on the inside. So in doing either of these exercises, I take my hands like this and I will tap on my chest and then bring it down low, right to about where the rib cage ends. Just the light tapping on the chest and bringing it low right here will just lightly send vibrations through the body. You can mentally easily more channel where the voice is originating from and bring it down lower with the taps because of that vibration. It makes it very easy and makes sure that you're holding this deeper tone, speaking from this lower phase. So what I like to do is I like to start with an A, E, I, O, U, and I start A up here, A, and then I bring it down, E, I, O, U, and I progressively bring it down with each and every vowel. So just very light and follow the taps with the voice as we bring it down. E, E, I, O, U. And remember, a nice deep breath, and we just let the air flow out. Immediately after 3 reps of that, you can go into a tribal chant. So for the tribal chant, I start with a word like how or wow, 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 and you can just kind of bring that into a very deep tone. Now, additionally to the physical feedback of the light tapping on the lower chest with the tribal chant, something I found that amplifies this even further and makes this exercise even more effective, in my opinion, is another form of physical feedback when getting started with the tribal chant, and that is going up on the toes and dropping onto the heels. And then just think thoughts of the voice dropping lower and lower with each and every drop onto the heels. So it goes, so I like to start the tribal chant with just dropping onto the heels as I'm saying how or wow, 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 over and over again. And then when I settle in, I go back to the physical feedback if I want to, on that lower part of the chest. Now I would do 3 reps of this tribal chant, just letting it go until basically you've let your air go. You don't need to force all your air out. Now when doing the tribal chant or any of these exercises while standing up, obviously give yourself enough time between breaths to where you don't hyperventilate yourself. You want to just have a nice, deep, relaxing breath and then just let it flow out. So I don't want anyone just like, no. You want to feel relaxed, not lightheaded or anything like that. Now let's go over this routine. So we start with the 3 deep breaths. We bring our air into the belly and then we let it flow out. Then we move on to our descending vowels with our physical feedback. We start up here on the chest, A, E, I, O, U, bringing it down here. Once again, feel free to take ample rest between each of these reps. And then from there, we move on to our tribal chant where I like to start with the heel drops, how, wow, 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 visualizing the voice falling down to the depths of the body. And once we settle it where we want to settle it, we can keep it there with some light physical feedback on the lower part of the chest. Now you can do this really as much as you want, but I wouldn't really recommend doing it over 3 consecutive times before taking a break and then doing it again. You know, if you just keep doing this, you're gonna dry your voice out. You might even like lose your voice just like you would if you were, speaking at a conference too much. Remember, keep in mind, your voice is gonna be like a muscle. You wanna train it, you wanna stimulate it, but you don't wanna annihilate it. But after just 1 day of doing this, literally the next day, from my experience, I noticed my voice was just already speaking deeper right out of bed. Now, if you keep doing this over time, and if you are conscious of where you are speaking from, if you need that feedback, go back to these exercises, not only will you just naturally be speaking lower, but your lower tone in your voice will actually strengthen, and you will actually develop a deeper voice. Some additional tips that'll certainly help out on your deepening voice journey: stay hydrated. If you're not hydrated, your voice will dry out and you'll get all cracky up here like this. If you need it, a nice remedy that I discovered throughout my 1-week journey was gargling some warm salt water. That just seemed to almost like hydrate the voice box directly. On top of that, getting adequate sleep and eating healthy is always going to be beneficial when you are exercising and trying to improve something, whether physically or cognitively. On another note, if you're looking to get in shape with your body weight, check out my 12-week calisthenics program, Bodyweight Beast 2.0. You can virtually train with your body weight anywhere. And from now to at least the end of the year, I am offering $5 off that program if you use code FOCUS at the checkout. Link in the description. I want to say a huge thank you to everyone, and thank you so much for your positive feedback on that. Thank you all so much for watching this video. I hope it helped you out. Don't forget to subscribe. Stay tuned. More videos coming out. Peace. I will see you all in the next video. Okay, forgive the turtleneck. I'm trying to look like a male guru, but